how many. It's crazy that rent is that much. I mean, you still renting.
But rent is kind of going down a little bit. That's what I noticed. Not too much, but
Why you think that's
started
the
like
case?
cooling out because it was going up, and now I'm noticing like it started like like a little bit going down.
It's still, I mean, can you right now, if you, let's say you buy that $600,000, you said that's the average, right?
Yeah.
So you buy that
For a house,
apartment or a house.
For a house. Apartments are, it's around it, yeah.
So let's say if you buy that and you want to rent it out and try to profit, I don't think that's, but what do you think? Is that possible at all? Or no?
You would need minimum 20% down, minimum to be on a zero, I think. With this FHA and all that, no way. No, you cannot rent it.
Earlier, people used to buy apartments. They can rent it out, actually make some money. You get some $200,000, $300,000, $500,000. It doesn't matter.
You have one specific type of loans, DSCR loans, and you're going to get qualified for that type of loan if your rent covers the mortgage. So you need to put a down payment. They do assessment, underwriters. And then if your rent pays the mortgage, you're going to get a loan. So let's go.
Let's switch to English. We gotta practice. Sometimes when you switch, it takes a couple of seconds for the accent to come back.
Yeah. I need to
It'll work. You Spanish, English. What are you using at work?
Work English, only English.
English, but a lot of customers speaking Spanish or no?
Some of them speak Spanish, yeah.
But can you handle them or you transfer them to local people?
I had one guy from Paraguay and I did ChatGPT with him, like through WhatsApp. Yeah.
ChatGPT through
ChatGPT through
He's like, this guy knows proper Spanish.
And then he calls me and I cannot pick up. And I tell him, man, I cannot pick up because I'm literally using translator for you, So, yeah, but I mean, when there is a will, there is a way.
You can always figure it out.
But in my office over there, they're all like Cubans and like Dominicans and all that. So a lot of times I'm just like, here's the phone, please.
Just help me out over here.
Help me. Yeah, literally help me out. Yeah.
That's great. Nikola, welcome to the show. Let me start off with a question: is buying a home still an American dream?
It is. It is. I believe it is. Some people will say no. Like now we live in a renting age, but I believe it is.
Is it achievable dream or is it just a dream right now?
Well, it's still, that's the thing. It's not achievable anymore. Because of the high interest rates, because of the prices, it's becoming like just a dream, literally.
Yeah, so for a lot of people, I mean, everyone dreams about owning a home. You want to own a home, you want to build a family, you want to do certain things. And so what do people do now? So they just rent?
Most of them just rent because they can't qualify. Even if they want to buy it, it's very hard to qualify people.
Why is it so difficult to qualify?
Because of the income, people and prices of houses and like apartments went up. So that's the problem, plus the interest rate. But if interest rate goes down, like hopefully it will, like the prices will stabilize. So hopefully.
What's the interest rate on the mortgage?
Right now it's at 6.5. Right
6.5. Is it the tendency is going to go down? Is going to decline? What do you think?
They're saying that it's going to go down. No, they're going to start cutting rates. So next month.
But is it connected? I mean, prices of houses are still high. So even if they go down with interest, people going to start buying, or what do you think?
So that's a complicated thing because, so every realtor, even every mortgage broker is going to tell you, obviously, when when interest rates start going down, prices will start going up, shooting up. But the fact is that right now, credit card debt in U.S. is all-time high, right? So auto loans, car loans are also like skyrocketing, right? Savings are all-time low. So even if they start cutting interest rates, and which they will, and even if the prices go up, who's going to buy that? People don't have money. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's
the problem.
So when someone comes...
So what might happen is that interest rate is going to go down and then prices is going to go down as well.
That's an ideal scenario.
That will be ideal.
Which will never happen.
It's more affordable, yeah.
So
I mean, we'll see.
Let's hope, because it's really bad. I mean, prices. So even the rent prices are still steady.
But the problem is, you have your whole United States. Where do you look? Miami is different animal, different story. Also, like New York, some like big financial centers are different. But like in Orlando or Tampa or like Missouri, prices are going down. So you have something that is called, if market prices go down 20%, that's called crash. More than 20%, it's called crash. So I don't think that's going to happen with Miami. It might go down 10 to 15%, but we're not going to have a crash in Miami. But some other parts of the country, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, Miami is a different market completely, but
Yeah, because people from all over the world, they want to live here, so there is a lot of money coming in. And also after COVID, people from all over the United States, are
But-
moving here.
how many mortgages comparing to, let's say, last year, last couple of years? You selling less or selling more? Selling the same, about the same?
Less. We had like a freezing market, basically. Yeah, that was the problem.
Freezing. What's the freezing market?
Basically, yeah, freezing, like market froze. Like people are not selling and people are not buying. So it's like, everybody's waiting something to happen, right?
But did they spend?
Because even people that sell, what you gonna buy after? Because the interest rates are high, right? And if you lock in the mortgage 2% and you sell your house, what are you gonna buy? What are you gonna do with the money?
So let's say I want to buy a house. I come in to talk to you, and then what do you ask me first?
Well, some basic question like your income, your taxes, your debt. I need to see those things first, and then to tell you for what you can qualify, what you can afford. Because a lot of people come, oh, I like this house that is $800,000. Yeah, but can you qualify for that? And of course, in down payment too.
Do they have usually unrealistic expectations? They expect a lot, or they know something, or what's the biggest misconception they have about getting a mortgage?
I mean, if they like the place and they fall in love with the place, and then they're like, but you can't qualify because I can qualify, for example, for $300,000, but you want a place that is $600,000. How,
So there's definitely. I mean, even let's say you want to get it, you want to get with lower interest rate, but your credit score is not that good. Or
you have credit score, you have taxes. Like we usually look 2-year taxes, your income and your debt.
So it's a credit score. I mean, especially right now, you mentioned the credit cards. I mean, credit card debt is so high.
So credit scores are down. Yeah.
So how do people gonna afford if the credit? So they have to get rid of that debt. Is it possible to get it even if you have the credit card debt or no?
No. Yeah, of course you can get it. Yeah, of course. But depending on what's your loan to value, I mean debt ratio, and then we're looking loan to value of the property, and depending on that, like we can issue, like we can pre-qualify.
So I mean, you recommend people getting what kind of options on the loans are? You have how much you need for down payment?
Okay, so you have FHA loans, which are 3.5%. You have conventional, and then there's some other loans like DSCR, which is investment loan, and like bridge loans, those type of things.
So
most of the loans are FHA or conventional loans.
Because 3.5% is not that much.
FHA, that's Federal Housing Administration, so that's basically government. Yeah, that's why it's so low. Yeah, conventional starts with 5% down payment.
And how often people actually put 20% down, especially right now with the high prices?
Well, it was before, but there's less and less now.
So can you explain the difference between 20% and 3.5 when someone buys a FHA loan or gets an investment loan?
Well, basically, okay, so when you put 3.5, okay, obviously you have less down payment, right? So your loan's going to be higher. So you need to pay off more. So interest rate on that loan is going to be higher, right? I mean, the amount of the loan is going to be higher. So you need to pay monthly more. If you put more down payment, you're going to have less monthly payment. And FHA is more affordable in a way that you can have a lower credit score, you can still get a loan than conventional.
So that's the trick. So you can get it with a lower
credit score, yes.
So that's I mean, people
that is meant for people that have difficulty qualify, and they don't have that much down payment and all that, so they can afford a home.
It's crazy how even if you want to put 20% down, I guess you're not. There's a thing is mortgage insurance, right? When you're paying.
That's when you put less than 20%. You have that mortgage insurance.
That also adds up, when you're buying something.
Everything adds up. Taxes are going up. Also in Florida, insurance is going up, so that also affect the monthly payments.
So let's say 10 people show up to ask for a mortgage, how many people actually buy?
1.
1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Was that changed, or has this always been the case?
No, that changed. It was more before, a lot more before. But nowadays, like this year especially, like it's very hard for people to qualify.
It's crazy.
And I mean, especially in Miami, like just look at it. Like average salary in Miami is $71,000. Like average price of a home in Miami is like $600,000. There's no way someone who makes $7,000 can buy $600,000 property.
So where do people buy? What do they do?
Well, okay, so they don't. They don't. Or what they do is they get, like, for example, they have a mom or dad, they help them, so they apply together. For example, it's very characteristic for Cubans in Miami. They do that. I had a lot of Cubans. They come, they can qualify, and then they bring their mom or their dad, right? And they're actually, I would never be able to live like that, but this is kind of, for me, it's very, like, kind of unusual and amazing at the same time. Because what these guys do, okay, so they are like, okay, so I cannot qualify, okay, I'm going to bring my cousin or my mom or my dad. So 2 or 3 of us are buying the home, right? Now we can qualify. We have enough income and everything. We have all our credit scores together, right? So we qualify. And then that house, for example, in Hialeah is worth $600,000, right? It has 2 efficiencies. They need to pay $5,000 per month for the house, right? So what they do, they have 2 efficiencies. They rent them for $1,500 each. So now they're paying $2,000 a month.
$1,500 in Hialeah for efficiency. That's something new.
Yes. I couldn't believe, but yes. And then, like, long ago when when I first came to Miami, I was like driving around, and I was always wondering before, when I didn't know, you would go in a neighborhood and see 4 or 5 cars in front of the house. And then you're thinking, like, okay, I'm driving here, like, these people have money, right? Like, it's one house. You would think, like, it's family lives there, like, like husband, wife, kid, whatever, right? And then you're like, wow, they have like 4 cars, or like, wow, like, but then again, why would they live here and have 4 cars? This is so stupid. But then after, like, when I realized that actually that's like 2 efficiencies, each of them has a car, and then a family, they have a car.
I never thought about
that's
that.
why so many cars. That's why so many cars. And then I was shocked first, but then I realized, yeah, this is why, because all these people live here.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. How are you going to afford it?
But at the end of the day, they're going to own the property. They're going to own the real estate, right?
Yeah,
and their property is going to over time gain value, and their house maybe over time is going to be worth 800, 900,000, right? They're going to have assets, right? Yeah, they live like 5, 6 of them there, but yeah.
And they can pull equity out of the house. They can buy
exactly.
a new house.
Yeah,
do they do that? Do actually
home
buy
equity, line of credit? Yeah.
Do they do that and they buy another house or stuff?
Yeah,
stuff
they'll
like
buy
that?
another house. Yeah, they do cash out refi. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, they do that.
It's crazy.
But they have assets. You're renting. You don't have assets, right?
Crazy how many. It's crazy that rent is that much. I mean, you still renting.
But rent is kind of going down a little bit. That's what I noticed. Not too much, but
Why you think that's
started
the
like
case?
cooling out because it was going up, and now I'm noticing like it started like like a little bit going down.
But still, I mean, can you right now, if you, let's say you buy that $600,000, you said that's the average, right?
Yeah.
So you buy that
For a house,
apartment or a house.
For a house. Apartments are it's around it, yeah.
So let's say if you buy that and you want to rent it out and try to profit, I don't think that's. But what do you think? Is that possible at all? Or no?
You would need minimum 20% down, minimum to be on a zero. I think with this FHA and all that, no way. You cannot rent it.
Earlier, people used to buy apartments; they can rent it out, actually make some money. You get some $200,000, $300,000, $500,000. It doesn't matter.
You have one specific type of loans, DSCR loans, and you're gonna get qualified for that type of loan if your rent covers the mortgage. So you need to put a down payment. They do assessment, underwrite it, and then if your rent pays the mortgage, you're gonna get a loan.
What's the process looking like? How long? Let's say so they find a house or apartment and they come to you. They need a mortgage, right? That's the process.
Usually, a realtor comes, or
a realtor comes.
Yeah, realtor, yeah.
So how long it takes to get
realtor.
approved and the process and the paperwork and stuff?
I mean, I can pre-approve person in like 2 hours if they send me all the 1 hour maybe if they send me all the documentation, of course. But usually it takes like to get pre-approval like 1-2 days, and then with the pre-approval they can go with the realtor and shop for the house, because if they have pre-approval, they're serious buyers. So that's the point of pre-approval. And then when they choose the house, when they sign the contract, when they get into a contract, it is usually 30 to 45 days.
30 to 45 days. Is there, remember any, I mean, you have a lot of clients. Anything in particular that sticks that you remember? They're like, okay, this is interesting stories. When they're asking some crazy questions or something crazy happened when you're closing
They're
them.
always asking some crazy questions.
Like what?
Like, okay, sometimes you have few things. Like, for example, if you have any cash or cash transactions, that's really kind of tricky, because you cannot just go today to a bank. You're applying for a mortgage, right? You just go to the ATM or to the bank. Here's $10,000. then okay, you're going to have those $10,000. But then underwriting is going to ask me to ask you, okay, from where he got those $10,000, because anti-money laundering is very, very like specific for mortgages, and it's very touchy. So you cannot have like a crazy transactions while you're in the mortgage process, right? So it's going to be like, okay, from where you got the money? Oh, I have it at home, like whatever. And then we can say like, okay, but we cannot, we cannot consider this towards down payment. So you need to get some other money from somewhere. So in those circumstances, usually you ask someone, a friend or family member, whatever, to issue a gift letter. So with a gift letter, they send you the money, they put money on their account, they send you to your account. A lot of people don't know that, really. That's the easiest way to resolve those things. They send you a gift of $10,000 that you practically gave them, right? And that's it. And it's covered with a letter. It's all fine. You have the money.
But they don't ask for the origin of money, how that person...
It's a gift. No, they don't ask. They're watching you. They're watching you. They don't want other people.
This is a gift?
If they decide to give you a gift, that's on them.
So is there any regulation who can give you a gift?
Yeah, like family members and like close friends. But no one really goes into that deep, like how close is their friend or what.
So you just, oh yeah, I have $10,000, but you just, people think you can put money in their account, $10,000, and put that as no, you have to show how you made that money.
How you got the money, yeah.
So your gift works. It's so, but also
that's a gift letter, yeah, and that's valid.
Is it strict? I know a couple of friends, they were buying a house and they said, or apartment, and they said they own the business. So I don't remember if that's true or not, but they said it was really complicated for them to get approved for a loan comparing to someone who has like regular 9-to-5 job working in the same place for 2 years. Is that true or not?
That is so true, yeah.
Why is that the case?
Okay, so you have something that is called W-2 and self-employed, right? With W-2, we are looking for gross income, so right? And you have steady income, right? So that's a big difference because you have recurring guaranteed income. So every 2 weeks, you get a paycheck. So that's the easiest thing for us. When I see W-2, I'm like, thank God, it's super easy, right? And just if he makes or he or she makes enough money, that's the only thing. But so basically it's guaranteed income, and we are looking at gross amount, right? For self-employed, we're looking net. And usually self-employed people, you have business, sometimes you have money, sometimes you don't. So I would advise anyone who is self-employed, put yourself to be an employee in your own company. Then issue yourself W-2. At the end of the year, you're going to lower your taxes by whatever you paid your taxes through W-2, right? Because W-2 you're paying in advance. As self-employed 1099, you're going to pay at the end after deducting taxes. But if you're employee in your own company on W-2, you have guaranteed income from your company. But a lot of people don't do that. They just have income, money comes in, money comes out. They commingle money with personal and business accounts, whatever, right? I'm guilty of that too. So that's a problem. And then when they want to apply for a mortgage, how much money you make? Okay, so you don't have guaranteed income. So what are we going to do now? How much tax? We need to look your taxes. How much taxes you pay in the last 2 years? Usually we look always 2 years of taxes. But there is, a lot of people in trucking industry, they also do that. They're self-employed on 1099 and then, they pay low taxes. But there is a solution for that as well, which is like bank statement loans. Those type of loans we are watching 24 months of bank statements, what comes in and out of the account, right? So basically, instead of paying taxes, right, in the end of the year, we look your bank statement for 24 months, and on the basis of that, how much money you get in. Now we look gross amount. We don't look net amount. We look gross. What is the money coming in the account, right? And on the basis of that, we can issue the loan. So
that's the tricky. So let's say
so it's not that you need to be employed or you need to pay taxes every year. No. Those are misconceptions. So you can get a loan on other ways.
So it doesn't matter. Let's say you work in you work in construction, for example, and then you start working in a bar. Let's say, but you're still making a steady income for 2 years. You're changing industry. Does that affect you getting approved for a loan?
Okay. Yes. Good. That's a really good question, actually. Because, so if you go from, let's say, self-employed to, guaranteed income, that's okay. So you can have a job. You can be, self-employed for, let's say, a year and a half and then get a job. You're on W-2 now. You have guaranteed income. That's okay. But if you have guaranteed income and then go self-employed, you're not going to get a loan. You need 2 years of taxes or those bank statements.
So
that's the difference.
but changing just industry and still being on W-2, does that?
No, that's okay. That's
That's
perfect.
okay.
As long as you're on the same, you're guaranteed, you're on W-2, or you're on 1099, or you're on 1099 and then W-2.
And if I had, let's say, I worked and I lost my job, so 2 months I didn't work last 2 years. Is that a problem? Or
Yes.
So it doesn't matter the gross income. It's just those 2 months are the problem also.
Well, if those
If
2
I make
months
enough
were
money over the
recent,
year.
if those 2 months were recent, yeah, if you have a job when you are applying, if you have a steady job or any kind of job, when you're applying for a mortgage, that's okay. But if you're applying for a mortgage, you're unemployed.
No, but if a year and 2 months ago, I didn't have a job for 2 months.
Oh no, that's okay because we're gonna look your taxes for that.
So you just see the whole yearly taxes. But you can't apply for mortgage if you're unemployed. That's for sure. You're not gonna do.
You're not.
So and let's say I make $5,000. So people have car payments, car payments, rent. What do you count when you do the ratio thing? So you can see how much mortgage can they afford.
So it's 49% for FHA and 47% for conventional.
Can you break down what's the 49? What does that entails?
Okay, so 49, that's basically your mortgage. What's going to be counted in you have a front end and back end, right? So basically front end is 49%, 49.3% for FHA, and 57.4% is a back end. Back end is with all those car payments, credit cards, and everything else. And for conventional is 47.6%, and back end is 53.4%, I think, something like that.
So let's say I make $5,000 and I want to buy a house. And okay, so you ask me, I don't know, do you have a car? What do you ask people? Do you have a car payment?
Yeah, you have car payment.
And so how do you do the math?
Score.
If you can break it down, how you do the math?
So okay, so we have a system, right? The software that tells us loan to value, ratio, right? So basically, on the basis of that, I can tell you like exactly, like for example, is it 37, 49, because we're looking both, like I told you, front end and back end. So depending how much on credit cards you have, how much do you have car loans and all that. So it depends on all that, but basically it shouldn't go above that.
So 49 is that, let's say if I make 5,000, I can't be more than 2,500 in debt, pretty much, a monthly payments.
2,300.
23 something.
Yeah, I don't know exactly in the amounts, but I know percentage.
You can be approved for that loan if your monthly expenditure with credit card payments, car loans and stuff, it's not over
57.
So 57.
57.
Okay, so that's
49, and then that's front end, and back end is 57.
So the people know that when they apply, okay, how much are my monthly expenditure? And that's like installment, whatever you're paying monthly.
Yes.
So people have to know that.
So if you own a credit card, $5,000, and you need to pay monthly $300, we're looking at what you pay monthly, $300.
So you look at minimum payments,
yes.
what you need to pay, and then you
that's
add,
revolving, yeah.
Then you add those things, and
we're not going to look like if you have a car $80,000. We're not going to look for $80,000. We're going to look just how much.
And does that affect the interest rate? If you own, let's say 40%, if you're what's the name for is it 49? How do you call that ratio?
Front end and back end. Yeah.
So if you have only like 15% or 0 or 39, does that affect the mortgage rate, interest rate?
What do you mean exactly?
So when you owe more money monthly, when you have more payments, is your mortgage interest rate is going to be higher because you have more monthly payments or no?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
You have credit score also.
So there's a lot of small
things that can add to the to the point.
So when someone wants to get a mortgage, what do you recommend? The 30-year, 15-year fixed adjustable rate?
30, fixed rate, 30-year, like that.
Why is that?
But actually right now, adjustable rate wouldn't be that bad because
the fixed rate right now is high.
Yeah, if you're expecting that the interest rate goes down, but usually those type of loans, like you have fixed for like first 2 years at least, and then it becomes adjustable or something.
Can you explain the difference real quick?
Adjustable, so okay, you have basically it's adjusted itself like every year depending on the current interest rate, what it is.
So yeah, fixed rate is like you get
fixed. Yeah, you're fixed for 30 years for like, for example, 6%, and that's it.
Nothing, never to whatever
that's
happens with the economy.
That's why these people that I mentioned before that locked in 2 or 3%, they're not gonna sell because they lock in 2 or 3%. So
they're fine.
Good. Yeah, they're fine, right? So.
But people that didn't, they end up paying. What was the highest? 8, 9. What was the highest?
Yeah, I have my friend. He did that that thing. Yeah, He bought a place and it was 2-year fix, and then it became adjustable in the worst possible moment. And he was like, we're just going up. He was like, I can't take this anymore. I need to do refinance.
But people do adjustable because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be fine. It was fine for a while, and
It was fine for it didn't matter.
but
for
over
a
30
while,
years,
and
what
then-
are the odds of, unless you're planning to paying it off earlier, maybe, but
Maybe, yeah.
why not the 15 years?
Not that many people take 15 years
Because it's too expensive?
because the loan is huge. I mean, not the loan. Sorry, the monthly payments are huge.
So that's
Yeah, because it's half of the time. So,
that's how's the clientele you get? Like, I know you're dealing with a lot of regular people, but what's
I do a lot with foreigners also. Yeah.
So that's wondering who's investing in Miami,
because
who's
it's
buying in Miami.
Like with money, like foreigners mostly. Like these regular people, like the most difficulty I have to like pre-approve someone or something is with like regular people from here. Foreigners, they come with money and they're like, okay, I want bridge loan or investment loan.
How do they get loans if you're a foreigner? How do you get a mortgage loan if you're a foreigner in the United States?
No, you can, as long as you have work permit, you can get a mortgage.
So you can go to a bank with a work permit, and you go,
they
go through
to
you.
Me, yeah. So with a work permit, you can,
Can you buy as a tourist?
Hmm?
Can you buy as a tourist?
No.
So you have
Can't buy
to.
as tourist.
So work permit. You have to get some kind of legal status here, so you can afford to.
Yeah.
So do you know information? Is there more cash? Do people buy it with cash? Mostly getting mortgages recently. Do you have that information? Maybe.
No, not really.
But I'm assuming because it was like everyone was cash last couple of years because of the whatever.
I mean, if you're a tourist, you can still buy.
Yeah, of course.
You can get for example cash or bridge loan, which is a hard money loan, which someone will give you even if you're a tourist because you're just paying interest rate for 1 year and then you need to pay lump sum whole amount. So you can still do that.
That's crazy.
As a tourist, but you need money.
What do you think? We're from Serbia, obviously. So, have you ever looked up and talked to people who do the same job as you back home?
Not really. I don't know anyone who does this.
That's the whole point. There's no one. People go through banks usually.
Yeah, people go. I work in a bank in Serbia, so yeah, people go through banks, and it's kind of different process because the thing is, you can go through bank here also, but banks are not specialized in mortgages, so the whole process is gonna be more delayed, more slower, because that person is doing 10 other things besides your mortgage, right? So that's why people go to us, and process is a lot faster.
I mean, we all trying to figure out what we want to do. Since you got in the United States, you got to try different things. You want to go through career, you want to pick some other stuff. Do you like your job right now?
Yeah, I like it. Only thing is I can't wait the interest rate to go down. So
you can start working, selling more. It's a tricky
more.
situation in the economy, so that's why everyone's trying to figure it out. But it's hopefully it goes up because it's strange that America, everyone imagines they're buying homes, and if people are moving out of the centers, let's say in Miami, let's say you want to buy a house right now. Any kind of decent, you have to go at least 45 minutes away from where we're right now.
Yeah, or go to Tampa or Orlando. A lot of people moving there. I know a few people that moved there because they couldn't afford it here.
But
I did few loans in Tampa as well.
That's what I was going to ask you. So where were you doing the most loans?
Here and then recently was Tampa.
Condos, houses?
Houses.
Houses the most?
Houses.
So there's a couple people on application?
No, houses in Tampa. Here, condos.
But is a couple people on application always? They're trying to combine income so they can afford more? Or is it just one person?
In Tampa, no, one person. But here, if they're buying a house, it's usually more people. Yeah.
What do you recommend from someone? I want to buy a house. So what do you think? Okay, what do you need to figure it out first, and before they come to you and actually get pre-approved? What would you recommend them to do?
Work on your credit score first. Work on your debts, and get rid of credit card debt or whatever. See your car payments, how much are they. Don't buy an expensive car because you want to buy a house. You don't want a fancy car. You want a nice house, right? And save some money for down payment and closing costs. I forgot. You have down payment and closing costs. Down payment is 3.5%, and approximately 3 to 4% is closing costs.
So we're looking at, if you get the FHA loan, it's 3.5. You're looking at another 3.5%, 4%, right?
3 to 4% for
So
closing
it's
costs.
like 8%.
Yeah.
So if a house is 500,000, for example, because of the sake of the math, so that's like it's like $25,000.
Yeah.
So that's, even with the cheapest loan you're gonna get, it's still $25,000.
Yeah.
So you gotta save money. You gotta do some stuff before you gotta.
You need to prepare yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that is difficult. I mean, saving money in the economy and stuff. Everyone's complaining about it.
I mean, yeah, credit card debt is skyrocketing, savings are plummeting, so it's very hard with this inflation, everything to save money nowadays, really.
Yeah, and even affording the monthly payments. How many people? If you know that, default on their mortgages.
Not that many. It's not like 2008.
For sure.
I don't think that's going to happen because you don't have now those ninja loans, no income, no job, all that. That doesn't exist anymore, thank God. But yeah, not that many people. Like,
But you know cases, right? Or no?
I know one. It's up north in Fort Lauderdale.
So that's not that bad. That's not that
but
bad because
not,
monthly payments are a lot. Still, people lose their job, they can't afford it.
Yeah, it's difficult, but no, people don't default them.
There's also the
still
when you're buying. Is there? I think I remember that it was when you're buying when you want to buy something. Let's say you have those payments. So last 6 months of the payments don't count or something like that. When you want to apply for a mortgage, and you have like. You can pay off your car in 6 months.
No, we're looking 2 months of bank statements and your pay stubs in case.
No, but let's say if I have a car and I'm gonna pay it off in 6 months, you have payments. Do you you include that in the math where you're doing the ratio, how much you're making versus how much is your expenditure?
Yes.
So everything it doesn't matter that, or you have a loan for like a couple of more months to pay off. You count that into the math too.
Yeah, every loan.
Because I think someone said that it doesn't last 6 months or whatever payments because you're going to pay that off. If you pay it off for like 3-4 years, they kind of count on you that you're going to continue to pay that loan. I heard that. I don't have experience with that.
I didn't never experience that. Yeah, usually when they have something like we would tell them like, yeah, you need like try to pay it off until we finish the process because usually it takes 30 to 45 days. Try to pay it off whatever you can before, so we can pull your credit and we can pull your, again. And before we issue the mortgage.
So even I have 2 months left over on my car payment, it's better to pay it off before I start the process, right?
Or during the process. You can pay it off during the process.
But it's better to have it paid off.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So, how do you got into the mortgage business?
So basically back home in Serbia, I work in a bank as internal auditor. And I finished finance and all that, so I come from that background. And then, my girlfriend is working as a realtor, and I know a lot of realtors. So I was like, okay, I know banking, I know a lot of realtors, like good connections and all that. So I said, let me get into this industry. I think I can do good.
So it was just, it was opportunity, and But how do you decide? Okay, this is for me. You looked it up.
I always loved real estate, right? But for me to be another realtor in Miami, like
it's too many.
It's too many already, right? So I was like, okay, what I can do that, like I like numbers and those stuff. So let me, I had my companies and all that. I know bank statements. I know what it is, how to form the company. I know all these details. There's some who would like start without previous knowledge would be confused, but I knew a lot of things like how the process works and everything, how taxes goes and all this stuff. So it was just for me, it was kind of obvious, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this now, it was kind of natural.
Why not? Why mortgage broker? Why most people want to become realtors and not mortgage brokers?
Because it's fancy. It's like, nice. Like, you go around this nice, houses. They all think they're going to sell multi-million-dollar houses. They don't think, oh, I need just one sale, that $20 million house, and I can go and live in Thailand like for 2 years, whatever, So they're drawn by the numbers. But like the fact is that like 90% of realtors doesn't do anything.
No, most of them for years are just posting ads on Craigslist. Hopefully someone's going to pick up and get something.
Or posting on Instagram.
And it looks cooler when you're doing back-end work here in the office. You're doing the numbers, you're doing the paperwork, you're engaging with people.
You're actually doing the work.
Yeah.
People just posting endlessly for nothing.
Yeah, trying to get seen, be seen. It was always... I heard about real estate since I was a kid, even in Serbia. real estate here, of course, but then mortgage brokerage, mortgage. Who's that? Who's the broker? You don't hear that unless
Because
you're buying a house,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, so I'm getting a mortgage. So who do I need to talk to?
Yeah, exactly. Someone needs to explain me how this works. You need to go to someone, But usually realtors are the ones that will be like, okay, because we work with them. So like, okay, I have a guy, mortgage broker. If you want to use him, and then we talk, and if they decide to use me, great.
So what's the okay? You're in Serbia, living there, and you're like, okay, this is not working out for me anymore. What was the train of thought
backstory
before you decided to?
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so I was here first time in 2009 through work and travel program. We went to Key West to drive rickshaw, right? And I drove the thing for like first week, and I was like, no, I need another job. No, and I got a job in Casa Marina Hotel over there, very nice hotel, and I worked there as a food runner, right? And then I was there from, I think it was May till like November, right? I was there for Fantasy Fest. That was in 2009, that was like a very strange experience for me. Because when you see all these naked people, these crazy people out there, like...
What do you mean, what's that? I don't even know about that. What's the...
You don't know Fantasy Fest?
No.
Okay, it's for Halloween in Key West, where like, Duval Street, the main street, like people walking like just to paint on themselves, like, naked or all that. Like,
Jeez, that still goes on?
Yeah. I was with my girlfriend 2 years ago. Oh, yeah.
You were painting yourself and walking
No,
on
I was
just observing.
I was just we had fun, but yeah, I wasn't going that crazy.
Because it's
but some
popular.
people, yeah, and I met Dad in 2009. I met Ron Jeremy over there.
He was in the part of the parade or just observing?
He was in a bar. Just chilling, like sitting, drinking, whatever. And this is Ron Jeremy. Okay, whatever.
Of course, with the craziness, you got to see crazy people.
Yeah, crazy. And then, I decided to return to Serbia, finish college and everything, and then I started working in a bank. But when I came back to Serbia after 2 weeks, I went to go back to US. Like already, I was like, okay, fine, I want to go back.
What's the...
I kind of a little bit regret it because not regret it, but I wanted to go back to see my family and friends and everything. But then since then I was like, after 2 weeks, okay, I saw you guys, we're good, like, great. I said hi and everything, but I want to go back. And because I don't know, I was just drawn, like I saw myself here. I don't know. I thought this is a country for me, the capitalism and how it works. People are saying like, oh, this is, you don't have life, no, it's just how you organize yourself, how you organize your life, And I started working in a bank as an internal auditor for 5 years. And then I was like thinking every year, like, should I do it? Should I do it? And then after 5 years, I was like, okay, like, if I don't try it, like, I don't want to be a guy that was, what if, those people that when they get old, oh, if I did this, I would be that.
It's always full of those stories everywhere.
Exactly. I don't want to be that guy. I'm going to be like, okay, you're going to go there. Whatever happens, you take responsibility. It is what it is. You're going to find out now, right? And everybody told me, you're crazy. You have a steady job here. Like you work. Like I had good salary for standards over there in Serbia and everything. And everybody like, you're crazy. But I'm like, no, this is something I need to do. So, and they're like, what you want to do over there? Well, work in a restaurant. So, well, clean the plates. Yeah. It is what it is, I don't have that like, oh, I don't want to do this or, like do that. Oh, I'm like not working in a bank, whatever. No, I can work anything. So nothing. I came here. It was January. It was January 2015. Yeah. And I slept in my friend's place on a couch for like first 2-3 months. And then I got my place. My place. I didn't get an apartment. I got a room. With
it starts, you can't just get your own place. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. And I started working at Nikki Beach as a server. As a busser for like first 2 months. Then they saw, oh, this guy is kind of normal. Let's make him a server, And I worked there full time, I would say like maybe 1.5 years. But then in 2016, in September 2016, I started a company with my friend from Germany. He had a company, he has still a company in Germany, My Trends, which is online clothing store, and with their own brand and everything. And he's like, okay, I want to expand to US, can you help me out, run the business there and everything? So I was like, yeah, let's start the company, right? He invested the money, I invested my time. So I didn't have any money still to invest, right? And we got a warehouse, and that was September 2016. December, just before Christmas here, so that was like, I think it was December 20th or something around there, we got robbed. So we had $100,000, maybe probably it wasn't the 100,000, it was around $80,000 worth of inventory, like clothing, right? And they broke into through those sliding doors with a van, and they took 50,000, maybe a little bit more than $50,000 of inventory. And that's how I found out that FBI gets involved for $50,000 because I was dealing with the FBI. So, so yeah, so.
So they just some
so
random
they-
people.
Well, I mean, supposedly it was, yeah, they said like it's random people, but I think it was someone who was connected because the warehouse where we rented, conveniently that day, the outside lights, it lost electricity. It didn't work. Just that day, right? So someone
So
knew,
they didn't have it on cameras or anything.
someone knew where is the switch for those lights to turn it off, right? And then who would know that? Like the owner, right? And then the owner, because I was new, I didn't know anything about business, about anything. We had insurance, but insurance said that you need to have a cameras inside and outside, to record. That's another big life lesson, which is, which is the owner told me like, oh, I did a facade, paint and everything. Like, can you not put the camera outside? I was like, yeah, no problem, of course.
But you have an inside or no?
I had inside.
So just because
They cut the cameras inside. Yeah. So, and insurance, was like, oh, you didn't have surveillance, outside surveillance. In your contract, it says that. Like, you
course,
need
fine print.
Yeah, fine print, and money gone. So you're starting a company, and then huge setback.
after was it 6 months or
September, December, like not even 3 months. 3 months maybe. Yeah, so I learned, insurance things, to read.
so it was nothing. They didn't caught him. You didn't have,
No one ever found him. No, even police told me like, oh, that thing, who knows where it is? Maybe in Venezuela now. So
Jesus, it's unbelievable
Yeah.
that you.
yeah,
It's crazy. So
and
how
then
do you recover from that?
yeah,
after
that
something
was
happens?
that was a struggle. That was really then like we were struggling for like then 2017, 2018. I work in a restaurant maybe 2 days a week just to have a cash flow, and I was concentrating on like trying to sell the clothing and all that. And then you start selling on Amazon, right? You think, yeah, I'm gonna sell on Amazon, amazing. But we had our own brand, right? And then what the Chinese do is if you don't have a brand, like registered brand with Amazon, they jump on a listing, they copy your listing, and they sell their clothing, which is some rags or small like yes, right? They sell their clothing under your listing. So your reviews and everything, people when they get their stuff, because the Americans they say like we are selling T-shirt for $16, Chinese selling T-shirt for same pictures, they use same pictures, right? For like $10, and they order there, but it's through our listing. So they literally like take over your listing, right? I didn't know for that. I was shocked. So that was another hit because we were waiting for like 2 years to get trademark so we can have our brand, which was Beehive, was our brand. We were waiting for that 2 years because it's a process, right? And so basically 2017, like we built a listing, we started getting sales. Chinese, they were literally following you. Like, okay, whoever has a, good, I don't know what they were doing, but somehow they found out who has a good sales or whatever. They just jump on a listing. They just copy everything and they sell their, or they don't sell anything. And then people leave bad reviews and your listing goes down. So another life lesson. But that's
business
that's
lesson.
business. Yeah, that's business. That's it. That is like, you think like, people see like, oh yeah, this is amazing. Let me have my own business and all that. But the struggles and you're working for yourself. So, you need to be there day and night. I was preparing the shipping orders, packaging stuff. I was doing everything, right? I was like a warehouse employee, secretary, CEO.
You had 2 cameras outside, inside this time at the warehouse?
This time we are doing drop shipping now.
Oh, drop shipping.
Yeah, drop shipping.
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah. So they're not, but after that we got another warehouse in Doral, and then we had cameras everywhere, everything. Yeah, it was like okay, yeah, but it was kind of struggle. It was like like first you're waiting for the for a trademark and all that, and then like start selling. And then at one point, my friend who when I came here in US, I was sleeping on his couch, and it was his sister and his girlfriend. And he was like, oh, he got into trucking like maybe, I think it was 2017, I think, yeah, something like that. And 2018, he opened the company. And he is like, oh man, like coming into trucking, you're gonna do good, like, I'm making money and all that. I now open my own company, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, if it's you, if I'm gonna do it with you, okay. So I got a CDL. I had found someone to run the warehouse day to day. So I got a CDL. And but I didn't just go into trucking like, yeah, I'm gonna just drive for some. No. I'm gonna buy a truck. So $150,000 loan, boom, immediately. I didn't know I never sat in a truck before, like besides the CDL school, right? So nothing. Like I finished the school, I went up in Chicago, I bought a truck, brand new truck, $150,000 through. I think it was Compass, Roy, Roy, yeah. And so this friend, he sat with me in a truck, brand new truck. I never sat in a truck. I never drove that big truck, right? So he's like, okay, let's go. I'm going to train you, I'm like, okay. So we went from Chicago to California, but we stopped in Las Vegas for like a day. And then we had one load in California. Then when we went back to Las Vegas, we were there for 2-3 days. And then we went back to, I think it was Baltimore, and then back to Chicago. He needed to go back. So I think total my training was maybe 9-10 days, out of which like 3 or 4 like partying, literally, because we were driving as a team. So it's like, it's fast, you get somewhere. But and after that he's like, okay, that's it.
Training done.
Well, training done, right? So I sat in my own truck, right? And first load like to LA, through Wyoming and mountains, and like when I didn't die, then like, and then slowly, like, yeah, you learn, like you drive and all that. But I wanted to have a company. And then that friend, I was driving for him. And then my other friend, he was like, yeah, I have this guy, he has Amazon account, like, like I'm going to go drive there. Like, like that guy, he was only Serbian, only one of ours that had Amazon account at the time. So it's super easy, like drop and hook, all that. I'm like, okay, let me try that. Like, and then I started working for him. And then, we did Amazon, like, drop and hook and all that stuff. And after a while, I mean, we realized he's stealing from us, classic. And then we left. Yeah. So, and then after that, I was like, okay, I'm going to open my own company like this. I don't want to, like, I don't want to think if someone is stealing from me or not, So then I opened my own company, and then, that was crazy actually, because I didn't have a trailer. So, and I work with Amazon, right? And I needed to wait like Amazon to approve me for the account, right? And there was here in Miami, there was one like yard, Amazon yards, and I knew they're keeping trailers outside on the open, right? But sometimes they would, because they were super busy. That was 2020 already, and they were keeping trailers outside, and they were renting some trailers from some other company, and they didn't have Amazon logo or anything, right? So I'm like, okay, great, because I knew I was driving those like before, right? And I don't have Amazon account, right? And I'm like, what I'm gonna do? Let me see. Okay, so I went there in the middle of the night. What's gonna happen? Borrow the trailer for like a month. Yeah, driving around with no papers, nothing on the trailer. So I was avoiding like a way station like a plague. So I'm like, if they stop me,
I wish that was the worst case about Amazon that I heard. So that's not even that bad. Just funny audio.
I was like, I was taking care of the trailer better than them, trust me. And then like finally after like a month, but I was driving on the market, right? And after a month, when Amazon approved me, I'm like, okay, thank God, I don't need to drive around with this thing anymore, right?
They already have your trailer, don't worry.
Don't worry. And I dropped it like somewhere in St. Louis on some yard, and I was like, okay, thank God, like... Yeah, but I drove around the country for a month. And you can see on the top of the trailer you had GPS, right? So so that was yeah. Want to start your own company? There you go. There you go. So I dropped it there, and then I started driving Amazon, and it was crazy because it was COVID and all that, and we started making so much money.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my friend that we drove for this other guy that was stealing from us, and he was with me in a company, but we're buddies, so he was like, it's like your company, like you drive, like you have access to the board, everything, because Amazon is very simple. You can like just click and book the load and all that. So we were driving we make a lot of money that year. Really, it was good. And then after that, that was 2020. In January, I was like, okay, like I don't want to drive anymore. I want to put drivers down, and I want to have trucks and all that stuff, right? Because I made some money. So I'm like, okay. So I needed like 2 months. I found a driver in March. This guy was like 25-year-old kid with baby mama. He then told me he has a cancer. I don't know if he was lying to me, but I was very soft to him because I wanted to help him, right? So he was always asking for cash advance and all this stuff. He was getting tickets left and right, but I was tolerating that because I feel sorry for him, But so you don't know. Sometimes is it better to be like a tough, or because if you're not, people will use you, So the most drivers I had was just 5 drivers, nothing crazy. But and then that was 2020, 2021, and then 2022 already the market started going down and all that. I was renting. I had my truck, and actually I sold my truck. I think it was end of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a truck for $150,000. Right after paying everything, I got $120,000 after using it for 3 years. I got $120 because trucks were
price was crazy.
Crazy. So I got $120,000 for it. So that was a good deal. And the other one, rentals, I returned. So actually one was my friend. The 3 rentals I returned. So basically after that, I was like, okay, what should I do? How to do it? I was still in a trucking in 2020, but then in 2023, I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore because you just saw the type of people and what are you dealing with?
It's a different animal, completely different.
Yeah. I was just like, this is not for me. Because you're trying to you understand someone and all that, you want to help them. You know how you felt when you were in their position and all that. And I don't know, it was kind of, I was like, I'm done with it. But also at the time in 2022, by the way, I forgot to tell you, so when I was making this money, I was putting everything in crypto. So crypto was skyrocketing. But
everything was going perfectly.
No, this was that's it. I'm on top of the world. And I had some besides Bitcoins, Ethereum, and all that.
Shitcoins or just good?
No, I had Bitcoins, Ethereum, and 100 shitcoins, right? Yeah.
It's too much money. You got to spread it around. You can't just do it in Bitcoin. It's too boring.
No, man. But you would have I had situations where literally I would put $5,000, right, into Bishu coin. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So literally, let me tell you this. So it was 2 p.m. I put, it was 5,000. So I was like, okay, let's see, how it goes. Night, 7, 8. Oh, it's not moving, whatever. Let's wait. I was like, okay, I was watching a movie, whatever. When I go to bed, it was around 1. I was like, okay, $120,000.
That was a couple hours, 2 hours?
Literally, 10 hours. I'm like, okay. This is going to $500,000.
Half a million, right? More.
Yeah. So then I woke up at luckily I woke up it was 6, 7, something like that. And that thing was just dropping, right? So it was around 30,000. So I barely managed to get those 5,000 out, But that's not worse. I had another avocado coin. 10,000, I lost it in I don't know if it was 2 seconds. I don't know, it was boom, avocado coin. Yeah.
At least it's healthy coin.
Yeah, it was healthy. Yeah, they're gonna change the planet, whatever. Right? So he's dying over there, right? Yeah, but also I had some good stuff. For example, I put 8,000 into sand, and I had 200,000 in that, but that was kind of stable and all that. So So most of the things, I had Bitcoin, Ethereum, but I had this other stuff, right? And then all of a sudden was 2022. That was like, I think, March. Yeah, March 2022. Everything started crashing, right? They said like, oh, we're going to start raising interest rate, blah, blah, blah. The whole market started crashing. And I was like, and that was the problem. Like, instead of cutting the stuff, you're like hoping. You have that hope, right? It's going to go back up. And then I was like, oh, okay, so let me see, like, what's going to happen here. Like, it's going to return. Like, and you're waiting, you're losing more and more money. And at that point, when my peak, I had a few millions, right? So it wasn't small money, right? And especially these coins, like when you see now, like I still have some of them, and it's 99.95% down. Like, like
almost zero.
I mean, there's no point selling them for what? For like, like
they might go back to a couple million again, or not.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. And so basically that was it start going down. And you know what is margin call?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So basically there was these few exchanges where you could like, basically it goes down price. So I don't know, Bitcoins was at the time like, I don't know, 50,000, 40, between 45 and 50,000. And I'm like, okay, let me get a loan, right? On half of the coins, and let me
double down.
Yeah. Let me buying the dip. We're going to the moon, right? All that stuff, right? And right.
Leverage high. You gotta give.
Leverage. Yeah. But and then it was like, if it goes below 28,000, I'm gonna get a margin call, right? I'm like, there's no way Bitcoin's gonna go below 20,000. Come on, like that's. So it went to like 15, I think. So I got margin call. So I mean, luckily I didn't put everything there, but I lost some coins there. So so that's it. And now I have this. I'm holding this. I'm not selling anything what I have. So waiting.
You're not trading now?
Something, not really. At that time, I was trading a lot. I was also like, leverage and all that stuff. Like I was doing that as well.
It was fluctuating more. So it was kind of, right now it's changing, but not that much. That was like every day was something happening.
No, you get liquidated in seconds. Like
you forget to wake up in the time, and that's it. You wake up, there's nothing there.
No, you are like, you don't even sleep, bro. You don't have time for it. Like, so that was another big lesson. Like, So the problem is like, sometimes like people know when to get in, but not when to get out. So that's the problem with everything. I mean, when you're feeling good, money's coming in, why would you? It's a normal. And the thing is like, really, like you in 6 months, you from like, I don't know, maybe a couple $100,000, you make millions. You're like.
That's why you're not. I don't think you have you're not ready for that kind of money that fast.
Yeah, you're not, no.
When you have 10 million, you make 2 million, you're like, okay, I know how to handle that.
Yeah.
When someone doesn't have any money, they get so much. Yeah. You're like, give me more.
Then there's something greedy, you're so greedy. And then you're like, it's going to go more, like 100,000. Bitcoin's going to be 100,000. Yeah, let's just keep it. Then you start falling down and you're telling yourself like, no, it's going to go back up. It's going to, I cannot leave now. I lost 300,000. Like, I'm not going to go. And then you lose million, so.
That's it. After all these experiences, and stuff, what would you give advice to yourself when you came to the United States after all these experiences?
No, I don't think like, all these things is.
But it has to be lived through so you can learn.
Yeah, I always believe like, like when someone tells you, oh, like listen to them, they went through this, that, but you need to have your own life experiences, your own life lessons. You need to experience life, it's good or bad, whatever it is, not going to be like, and if you're trying something in life, you're trying to like lift yourself to become something more, you're going to risk and you're going to, sometimes you're going to fail, but failing is part of the process, how you go up. That's what people think, oh, I failed so many times. It is what it is. Like, I learned, through failing.
What was the biggest thing you changed? You noticed a change on yourself when you were going through the last 10 years since you've been here?
I'm a totally different person. So many things now doesn't like affect me. Doesn't like, I'm not, someone tells me something, I'm like, huh? What? You have no idea. No avocado. I eat avocado. I love avocado. Yeah. No, but at that point, $10,000 was like, it was like, I didn't even blink, it was, okay, whatever, I tried, because before that, I put in Bistro and went to like 120,000. So I was thinking like, okay, now if this 10,000 goes to like, I don't know, 200,000, I'm going to go out. That didn't happen. So
How do you recover mentally, physically from that kind of loss? And,
no,
I
that,
mean,
that was, 2022 was kind of a little bit, I got depressed. Yeah, of course. Like who wouldn't?
yeah, that's a normal because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
such a loss.
That's normal. Yeah. So yeah, you get, but like, it's also important to have any type of support. Luckily, I had a good girlfriend at the time, so she was with me, and like she was supporting me and all that. So she helped me. I wasn't alone here, So and and it's actually, like one good thing in all that bad that happened is you see who are real people around you. You see who are your real friends and who are just there for a good time, but not for a bad time.
Yeah, that's everything kind of hones you so you're ready for the future, for anything new that's coming your way. So that's what all those experiences they're valuable. That moment it looks so bad, but you know what? Worst thing is if you repeat them, if it happens again, then that's double. Then
then you didn't learn anything. Yeah,
then it's even worse because you haven't learned. Even like mistakes, whatever. Let's say some people complain, "Oh, my parents, my dad, my mom didn't treat me, didn't do this, didn't treat me right," and then you're doing the same to your kids. No, but people use that and say, "Oh," and then you continue. Then you're even worse than them because you haven't improved. That also concerning yourself. If you learn something, you make a mistake, and you do it again, and you do it again, you do it again. What's the point? Then
you're not learning anything. It's a pattern that you're.
But people are really repeating the patterns. Rarely someone actually, okay, I made a mistake. I'm gonna get better. Learn from it, and it is difficult to fight with yourself and make those kind of difficult decisions, not to be your old self.
Yeah. Like basically, competing with yourself. People like to compete where I have better this than someone or this than someone. No, like you need to compete with yourself to be a better person every day.
Oh, that's for sure. What do you see yourself in the future? Do you imagine you have like plans, a year, 5-year, 10-year plan or something like that?
Yeah, I have. So basically buying some properties here, and I also have that's another thing that I had in my mind. I have a startup. I was part of this Venture Miami accelerator and all that, and basically startup is creating funeral service marketplace. So when I tell people about funerals, they're like, "Oh, what?" So basically,
you're angel investor or you owner of a startup?
No, it's my startup.
You're owner of a startup.
Yeah, owner of nothing yet, but yeah, it's in development, right? So that's why I also have, beside mortgages, I have an insurance license because, so let me go back a little bit. I had this idea, I was in 2013, like back in Serbia, funeral industry, funeral business, it didn't have any change for the last 50 years, right? People someone dies and something, like people are getting buried the same way, you need to call someone and all that. And we had all these advances in technology and everything. Why there is nothing online, right? And I had that idea, that time, right? And then I came here, and then one thing, second thing, then let's do this, let's do that. But I always had that in the back of my mind. So when all that thing happened in 2022, I had also money, on the side, lose everything, of course. But I was like, well, let me start this thing, right? And I was thinking it's perfect time because it was after COVID. COVID, post-COVID, whatever, it was 2022, right?
You were thinking debt is the only certain business, so...
Yeah,
that's you're thinking. Yeah, the startup's got to work.
Yeah. Come on, you have market is huge and it's just growing over time.
It's crazy. It just looks. It's a dark humor, but it's
a fact. Death is part of life.
Death. Barber. You're always gonna be needing those things.
AI is not gonna change it, right? It can just help, improve it, in a customer service, for example. And so basically, so I started in 2022. I was like, let me start working on this thing that I had in my mind for so long, and let me finally, do it. And then I was like, I tried to pitch some VCs and all that but I don't have a background. I didn't finish Berkeley or Stanford and all that stuff, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just do it myself, right? And then basically, the whole idea is creating a funeral service marketplace, which we have pre-need and ad-need services. Pre-need is basically like insurance, right? Someone wants to buy final expense policy, so when something happens, when they die, everything is covered, right? They have peace of mind. at need. When someone dies, someone can organize a funeral that goes with the funeral service home, right? So I'm like, okay, so what is more likely to happen right now? And I was thinking like, okay, it's 2022, all these old people, they got used to using like online services because they're locked down because of the COVID and everything. So I'm like, okay, and there are so many boomers right now. Boomers are like, like they're growing. They're like most, I don't know how many of them, I think it's like 60 million or 70 or something like that, and some huge number, right? So I'm like, okay, that's my market, that's my target group, right? So, and then I was thinking, okay, so should I build a whole like, like design and everything for the whole platform. And then I spoke, and that's one thing also, like when you pitch these different people, like VCs or angel investors, whenever you get some of them, they're just going to say no, but a lot of them, they're going to give you feedback. They say like, okay, so you are trying to build, I was like, yeah, I want to build a whole platform, like everything, like, at once. And they're like, no, this is like, you need like some start. You need like something like smaller, like this is too big. This is like building a, spaceship, like build a bicycle first, And then I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do, what is better to do, like, okay, let me disregard the actual funeral homes and funeral part right now. Let me start with the insurance part, right? Which is, it's easier to sell a insurance policy online than to actually, when someone dies, someone to book the whole funeral, a casket, all that stuff, right? So right now, it's like I have like a landing page and all that where you can actually like look and book for the insurance, for final expense insurance. So which is why I got the insurance license and all that stuff for that.
So you're specialized in that? Is that the...
No, I specialize also in whole life insurance. So beside mortgages,
I didn't even know there was the insurance for that.
Yeah, you have final expense insurance because
what's the price?
Final expense is $30 to $50 a month because it's small. It's not that.
When can you get that, and it's valid, or how does that work? So
you can get it anytime you want to. Just you need to pay for it, But it's better for us younger, to get a whole life insurance, which I'm specializing actually in that type of insurance also. So I basically, for the purpose of the startup, I want to build the whole platform, which is like, okay, so basically it's a landing page, and then you have this thing, I don't know if you're familiar with Go High Level and automations behind it, and then AI, like a chatbots and AI that's going to call people and all that, right? So there's going to doing the calling and like chatbots and emails and all that stuff. And basically,
if you plan on dying, I have an insurance for you. Is that going to be the call?
No, do you want to have a peace of mind, like something? Yeah,
like, I don't care when I'm dead. I don't care if it's peace of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Basically, it's like that, right? So but beside that, I specialize in this type of which is whole life insurance policy, fixed whole life insurance policy, which is with a high yield and cash value, building a cash value. And I don't deal with other policy because you have universal life, you have these other policies. That's also very good for people to know, because those universal, they invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, but the income is not guaranteed. So, and you have management fees and all that. So at the end, when you're 60 or 70, you pay so much on different types of fees. So they had universal whole life, the type of insurance, they have so many lawsuits. Like, it's ridiculous. So people are like, complaining and all that. But fixed whole life and the whole concept of like infinite banking and how to be your own bank. So I'm doing that because I first took that insurance policy because I was like, this is an amazing thing. You pay premium, you have that benefit, and you're building a cash value, and you can borrow from your own policy. So borrowing from yourself, because you as a policy holder in a mutual company, you are the owner of the mutual company. It's not like, how shares, you have shares, you're a shareholder of the company. This is your mutual company. You as a policy holder is owner of it.
That's a lot of, I know some stuff about life insurance and the stuff how it works. Definitely, I'm going to add the links. You'll send me the links, and I'll add to your profile if people want to get more information about that. And also info about whatever's happening. But they can contact you always for that, because it's really, I don't think a lot of people know about it.
No, especially our people. Like, like I spoke with a few friends that are truck drivers, and they're like, oh, don't jinx me, bro. I'm like, I don't want to jinx you. I just don't want to do GoFundMe for you, bro. Like if something God forbid happens, like come on.
It
man,
is.
like,
it's bad. It's bad because it happens a
like,
lot.
you just need to be aware and think of some
No,
of those
we
things,
don't. Most people they don't have medical insurance. I don't want to talk about some other insurance.
life insurance.
So that's
even
something
less, yeah.
But
So
that-
so basically.
So
yeah,
you're working
that's
on that. Any other plans for the future?
No, that's it. This startup thing, mortgages, still.
That's good. That's good. You have good stuff going on. You did a lot of stuff. Hopefully, works. So let's see what's going to happen in the next few years, so we can sit down again. Maybe let's see what's
when
the next
Bitcoin
experience.
goes to the moon, right?
Maybe in that you'll be able to do it on the
Or
moon.
maybe avocado coin. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe avocado. I'm bringing a pound of avocados if they. Or actually, you're gonna bring it if they go up. Bring it. We're gonna munch on some avocados.
Truckload of avocados, bro. Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up, you want to add something else? You want to tell the people they can find you? I'll also leave a link.
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter. I'm in X. Now it's X. So that's it. Yeah.
All right. Have fun. Thank you so much for doing this, man.
Thank you.
Yes.